Welcome to the WRAL Daily Download. I'm Jack Hagel. A North Carolina lawmaker made national news for a social media post about weekend protests against President Donald Trump. Wake County Democrat Julie Von Haefen posted an image of a protest sign featuring a guillotine and a fake severed head that resembled Trump. It prompted some Republicans to call for her resignation, and a brief speech from Von Haefen on the House floor this week. WRAL state government reporter Paul Specht has been covering the issue, and he joins us now to tell us all about it. Paul, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Paul, over the weekend, this Wake County Democrat, Julie Von Haefen, got some unexpected attention. What happened?
That's right. On Saturday, we had a bunch of protests across the country, and they were called No Kings protests, right? And so we saw people here in North Carolina and Raleigh protesting the Trump administration. And obviously, when you go to a protest, you often carry a sign. And so what Von Haefen did was attended one of these protests and took a video of what she saw. And in one of the videos she posted on Instagram, you can see this protester with that guillotine and the severed head that you mentioned. And that quickly was picked up by local Republicans. And it sort of turned into a firestorm. Big social media accounts, people like, Libs of TikTok, which has just hundreds of thousands of followers, picked it up, and Von Haefen quickly became the target of a lot of backlash.
Now, the timing, not just the content of this post, was a factor in the story, right?
That's right. She put it up on Saturday, and if people may remember that earlier that day, two Minnesota lawmakers were victims of a shooting. Tensions were already high. People were worried about more political violence. And then, they saw this post by Von Haefen.
Republicans have been pretty vocal about the incident. What do they have to say?
Right. So in the immediate aftermath, we saw a lot of conservative pundits, and we saw Republican House members even tweet, this is appalling. It's out of character. She, things to that effect. And then we saw on Monday the North Carolina Republican Party call for her to resign, saying that she showed she doesn't have the proper judgment to even be making or voting on the state's laws.
Now, what did she do in the moment? What did Von Haefen do?
So Saturday is when the post went up. Obviously, she got a bunch of backlash. I believe it was Sunday she put up another statement on social media saying that she had taken down the video, that the protester sign was inappropriate, and she made clear that she does not condone political violence.
Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll hear about what Democrats have to say about the situation and more. Stick around. Welcome back to the WRAL Daily Download. We're talking with WRAL state government reporter Paul Specht about violent political rhetoric in North Carolina. Paul, Republicans called on Von Haefen to resign. Did Democrats put out a statement on her behalf?
They did. Anderson Clayton, the chair of the North Carolina Democratic Party, put out a statement basically accusing the Republicans of grandstanding. She said that their calls for the safety of politicians ring hollow, given that they stayed silent and didn't call for the same things when Republican politicians made similar violent rhetoric. Now, and she referred to candidates who ran just last year in 2024. There was a candidate for education superintendent here in North Carolina. Her name was Michelle Morrow. She had a documented history of calling for the execution of former President Barack Obama. There was also Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, who ran for governor, and he had comments about needing to fill some people's britches if they tried to take his guns, things like that. And he at one point even said, some people need killing. And he claims that, that those were taken out of context, that there was a broader meaning. But, the Democrats say, like, hey, you didn't ask them to tone it down, and now here you are calling for severe consequences against one of our own.
Now, all of this might have something to do with why pollsters say that more people expect to see political violence these days, right?
That's right. After January 6th in 2021, we saw polls come out saying, like, not only do people think that's bad, but they expect to see more of it. They expect people to take more violent action against their political opponents. We've seen this in even local polls as well. People at Elon University, Meredith College here in Raleigh, and you know what? We've still seen reports. These people who predicted are sort of right. Well, U.S. Senator Tom Tillis faced death threats in his office for various things. There was a woman at the state legislature earlier this year who brought a gun she tried to bring a gun, I should say, to the legislative complex, and she was caught at the security checkpoint and charged with a couple misdemeanors. But with this in the background, people are obviously on edge.
Now, on the House floor on Tuesday, von Haefen made some brief remarks. What did she have to say then? She
came out and said, look, she's sorry. She apologized to her fellow House members and said that she reiterated this was inappropriate. She shouldn't have done it. She apologized to her colleagues, to her constituents, and to people who look up to her. One thing missing from her apology was a specific mention of President Trump. That's something that the Republican Party noticed and called out on social media as well. But it seemed like von Haefen and even House Speaker Destin Hall were trying to put it behind them.
Now, Hall also had some words after she spoke. What did he say?
Now, over the weekend, he had said these comments are unacceptable and unbecoming. He said he was going to look into ways to prevent similar political rhetoric from popping up in the future. We don't know what that would look like because he never said what he instructed his lawyers to do. They could censure someone, they could remove them, things like that. He never came out and specifically said. And maybe, if we were to speculate here, that those comments over the weekend were just meant to encourage von Haefen to come out and apologize. I would guess that that's exactly what they were meant to do. But Hall on the floor, said this is unacceptable, that House members cannot say the types of things that we see people saying on social media. They cannot post the type of images that other people post, even in jest. And he said he'll continue to watch. He said, if this comes up again, he does plan to take action, and he's still watching von Haefen specifically. If this it sounded like he had in his head, he has some sort of, strike system. We don't know if that's 3 strikes or, in von Haefen's case, just 2, but we'll see.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this develops, if it continues to develop. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
That's WRAL state government reporter Paul Specht. For his reporting on North Carolina politics, go to the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com. I'm Jack Hagel. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for listening to the WRAL Daily Download and for making us part of your morning routine. Another great way to get WRAL news is the Morning Briefing newsletter. It's a daily email with Triangle news, events, and headlines to help you get ready for the day. Sign up at WRAL.com/newsletter.